Alongside Eric Kane, Rob Lewis, and Brett Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for the Rocky Top Roundtable on this UAB week. Time to stand up, dust yourself off, and just go back and play. You can't let last week, dwell on you too long.
Well, and I think that's the challenge for the leadership of this team towards the youth of this team. We've spent weeks talking about Josh Heupel telling his youth, you don't have time to be young. We think of that in the context of getting ready to play, understanding schemes, understanding everything you have that way. The reality is not having time to be young is you can't wallow in the self-pity when something goes wrong. You can't get too high when it goes well. This is when maturity's got to come to the forefront, Rob.
Yeah, and I thought Miles Kitselman, was a great, kind of voice of reason and reflection of that mature leadership you're talking about in the locker room on Monday when he talked about, hey, this absolutely hurts. Feel sorry about yourself for a minute. And then, hey, let's go back to work. Everything, about this team, our championship goals, they're still out there in front of us. We got to move past it. That's the only choice. And I would be really surprised if they don't. And I think the schedule sets up great for that. No disrespect to Mississippi State, but, you got UAB, Mississippi State is very winnable, open date before you jump back in. I mean, you got 3 weeks to get your mind right.
Well, and you need to play.
Yes.
You don't need an open date right now.
Perfect.
Yeah, you need to play. I mean, you lost a game in heartbreaking fashion, a game that honestly you should have won. You could have won 3 or 4 different times, and so that's frustrating. And how do you kind of move past that mental hurdle, the physical pain, and to get back out there? And I'm with you. I'm glad this is not the bye week. They need to get back out there, even though you much rather play Mississippi State than UAB this week.
Got to continue to push those young guys, especially as you try to build more quality depth. You hear Coach Inge on Tuesday talking about it, pushing a guy like Jaden Harmon, right? I mean, who else needs to kind of be put on that pushed side of the ledger?
Well, I mean, they've got to find some help for me in the secondary because they're playing a ton of snaps back there. And so I'll use my line that, you got to find out this week, can somebody move above the line? Can they be a guy you can count on to help in SEC play? And I think that starts in the secondary for me, Rob.
Well, I mean, safety was an issue. I mean, Ty Redmond, he's caught some heat this week, but any true freshman thrown out there in his third college game.
For 94 snaps.
Yeah, I mean, he was thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was some poor tackling from some veterans at safety, some really bad angles, at times. I mean, Georgia's got guys in space. And, even if they didn't gash Tennessee for 20 yards, they consistently, very rarely, on those little swing passes outside of the first guy, bring the ball carrier down. It just, hidden yardage, 3 and 4 yards here and there. And I don't know if it was the personnel, if it's individuals, but a safety rotation has treated Tennessee pretty well in the past couple of years. And I wonder, if they don't look harder at that.
Yeah, Andre Turntime played 95 snaps. You had Idris Farouk that played 70. Caleb Beasley played 20. Who's that fourth guy? We're talking about pushing younger guys to play. Could it be Sidney Walton? He was the 4th safety in the ETSU game. I mean, this is a very good opportunity for a guy like him to get some more quality reps because they do need. Caleb Beasley's got to play a little bit more. Tennessee was best at safety last year when they played legit 4 guys. Other young guys that really kind of need to be pushed this week. I mean, I think Brent's pointed it out several times this week already. Miles Kitselman needs help at tight end. Ethan Davis playing more snaps. Is it Jack Van Dorselaer? This is a game to kind of push those guys. And of course, some of the other guys we've mentioned several times, like Ethan Utley needs to continue coming on. Jamal Boss. Isaiah Campbell, some of those young guys, and of course some of these young receivers, Travis Smith. This is the game for that, but obviously you want to go in there and approach it like this is another SEC game and get off to a good start.
Looking at UAB, what's the one thing you feel like they do well that Tennessee can get quality work on this week?
I think it's the space game. I think if you're UAB and you're Trent Dilfer and you're looking at the game tape, you're thinking, okay, how do we attack this? I don't think they're going to line up in 2 tight ends and try to run it at Tennessee. But if I'm looking at Tennessee through 3 games, I think I'm going to throw it out in the flat. I'm going to throw the wide receiver screen, the bubble stuff, swing pass to the tailbacks, and see how Tennessee reacts in space. They got outnumbered last week at times. They didn't play the alley very well, the angles you mentioned. I think teams are going to continue to attack in that area of the field that Tennessee shows they can clean that up.
And that's UAB's bread and butter. I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but Trent Dilfer, head coach, he's going to want to throw it around. Kitten at quarterback, really solid for that level of a program. And it's, they're not going to have to get out of their comfort zone to kind of show Tennessee something that has stressed them early on.
Really good week for those defenders, specifically the secondary guys, really linebackers too. Communicate, because sure, UAB is going to try to stretch them out around the perimeter, and Tennessee struggle with that a little bit. But also, this is one of those games to where you're just a better athlete. You're a better football player. You can overcome some of those miscues. Overemphasize communicating even on the small things in a game like this because that stuff will carry over into a game like Mississippi State where you're really going to have to communicate loud, in a hostile environment.
UAB will not have anybody like Zachariah Branch.
Nope.
But at the same time, I think this is a real opportunity. As you point out, I like getting, whether it's Tim Merritt or Sidney Walton, those safeties for me are where my eyes are this weekend, right? I want to see like who can take a step there to, as you said, go above the line, because they've got to continue to push help, because we all agree that Georgia, if not the best team Tennessee will see all year, one of the top two, and so it's going to get a little bit easier, which means some of these guys, if they continue to progress, the game's going to slow down for them. And
Yeah.
so that to me, that's why like this game is big, because you don't get another one of these until basically the end of the year in mid-November.
And here's what you know is coming. You're looking at that schedule ahead of it, and there are going to be some teams that can run the football, that try to run the football. But let's talk about it. Alabama's best thing they do right now is throw the football.
Arkansas, same thing.
Arkansas got a running quarterback. They're going to throw it around. Mississippi State plays similar offensive football to what Josh Heupel wants to play. They'll run it some, but they're going to throw it around too. So you're going to get stressed in the secondary in the month of October, probably more than you have in previous Octobers, because you don't have necessarily just a great downhill running football team that you're going to be playing. That's where this team's got to grow defensively in my mind. They got to be better in the back end, particularly on third downs.
Oh, no question. I mean, Georgia 8 of 17, which is not just embarrassing. But then you tack on they were also 2 of 2 on fourth down. So I mean that number looks a little different. And this is not sour grapes about why Tennessee lost the game, but how much better are they at everything we're talking about if Jermod McCoy comes back and is healthy?
Well, but the reality is you don't know if you're going to get. So you've got to figure out how you can play and be at your best. What's your best combinations back there? Is that McMurray some at corner to spell Spillman to give some break there? I mean, what do you do? Is it Merritt? What do you do to find more than 6? And it kind of feels like they have 6 guys that they think they can play in the secondary right now, and that's not enough. They need more.
And I'm doing that in this game. I mean, obviously some of those younger guys are going to play, but we thought in the ETSU game that, well, you don't need Jalen McMurray at corner, right? I mean, you can beat ETSU by however much you want to. I never thought Jalen McMurray was not going to play corner in the game against Georgia. He's got to figure into that rotation at corner. He can still play star. Having said that, Boo Carter, I'm all for more snaps at the star position. Has Boo Carter been lighting the world on fire at star this year? No, he's not. He's giving up some big-time plays on fourth down. He's got to play better, but I'm with you. Different combinations, throw it at UAB, get it on tape, I don't care, but Jalen McMurray has got to factor in the quarterback rotation. Ty Redmond can play. He just doesn't need to be playing 94 snaps. No, Colton Hood does not need to be playing 97 snaps or whatever it was.
All right, we did it early in the year. Give me your bold take in this one.
I think Tennessee's maturity shows up. I think the offense stays hot. I think they come out. I think they run the football probably a little more balanced. I don't think you're going to go 14 for 14 to start. But I will be surprised if Tennessee is sort of sleepwalking lackadaisical in this game. I think Tennessee's going to be a mature team and come out ready to go in this one.
I really wanted that one because, I mean, there were a lot of questions about, will this one linger? So I'll be even bolder. I think the spread's 40. I think Tennessee covers that easily. And just because I think it's a reflection of Josh Heupel. I think he's fiery. I mean, I think he's upset about the loss. But, I don't think it lingers with him. And I think that kind of attitude just permeates out the locker room.
Leading rusher in this game against UAB, Peyton Lewis. Does that mean he earns more opportunities? Because I thought it was interesting. The running back rotation kind of settled itself out in a game like Georgia. It was clearly Deshaun Bishop and Star Thomas, especially in the second half. Game like this, give me Peyton Lewis to be the leading rusher. Give me Deshaun Brain to find the end zone.
My bold take is Brent Hubbs won't have a long sleeve shirt on at the game Saturday. It's going to be a high of 87. This guy will be in a short sleeve shirt down on the sidelines.
You'll lose that one. I can promise you that right now.
For Eric Kane, Rob Lewis, and Brett Hubbs, I'm Austin Price for the Rocky Top Roundtable.